What would happen to dolphins if humanity disappeared? 1 month later. The Silent Sea. 1 month after humanity is gone, the oceans fall into a silence not heard for centuries. The constant roar of container ships, oil tankers, and naval sonar has vanished. Underwater noise levels drop by nearly 80 to 90%. For dolphins, it is as if a heavy fog has lifted from their world. They can hear the clicks of their pod mates from tens of kilometers away, and even the faint stirrings of distant schools of fish. Hunting becomes easier as their heart rates settle and the stress carried for generations fades quickly. But even in this calm, traces of humanity remain. Hundreds of tankers and cargo ships sit abandoned along coasts and harbors, and small amounts of fuel begin to leak into the sea. It isn't enough to trigger a collapse, but in some coastal waters, thin slicks of oil spread, threatening plankton and tiny crustaceans, the base of the food web. Not deadly for dolphins yet, but their food chain is beginning to shift. 1 year later. Ghost nets and endless prey. With overfishing gone for a year, the oceans have become a vast hunting ground. Sardine and mackerel shoals return to their pre-industrial numbers. Dolphins easily catch dozens of fish each day, and some pods grow more than 30% larger than ever before. But a silent killer still drifts through the water. Hundreds of thousands of tons of ghost nets, abandoned trawls and fishing gear, drift endlessly on the currents. Each year, they entangle and kill countless sea creatures. Dolphins chasing prey are snared. Many drown or are left badly injured. Food is abundant, but ghost nets remain the greatest artificial threat to dolphins at this stage. 5 years later. The ocean's thrones and hidden dangers. By the 5th year, most ghost nets have sunk or rotted away, but the ocean is no safe haven. Natural predators return in force. With whaling and industrial fishing gone, orca, giant sharks, and sperm whales surge in number. Dolphins must now compete for food or avoid becoming prey themselves. Their hunting tactics sharpen, and a more complex Game of Thrones begins beneath the waves. Meanwhile, another danger quietly spreads. Old mines and industrial sites, left untended, start releasing acidic mine drainage and rainwater laced with heavy metals. These toxins flow through rivers into the sea. Not enough to poison the oceans, but in some coastal areas, plankton and tiny crustaceans vanish. Dolphin pods abandon those shores, pushing further offshore, or traveling to more distant feeding grounds. At the same time, coral reefs and kelp forests slowly begin to recover. These habitats bring back small fish populations, creating new hunting grounds where dolphins thrive. 10 years later. Shifting waters, shifting borders. 10 years on, ocean temperatures are still rising. As some tropical seas grow too warm, corals bleach and die once more, causing the small fish that depend on them to disappear. Hardier species like jellyfish take their place, reshaping entire food webs. Dolphins follow their prey ever farther, north and south, towards the icy edges of the poles. With melting ice, the Arctic and Antarctic seas become new feeding and breeding grounds. But these waters remain unstable, as shifting currents and weather patterns bring violent storms and unpredictable seas. Some pods lose their hunting grounds, and only those that adapt, with new routes and hunting strategies, survive. 50 years later. Sea forests on ruins. Decades pass. Coastal harbors, oil rigs, and sunken ships all corrode and collapse into the seabed. These ruins turn into artificial reefs, where seaweed, kelp, and coral take root. Across the oceans, vast marine forests rise from the wreckage. For dolphins, these forests become vital hunting grounds. Their pods grow larger, their social structures more complex, and the remnants of human civilization become the very foundation of new marine ecosystems. 100 years later. The dolphin's golden age. A century has passed. The oceans have reached a new balance. Sea levels remain 2 to 5 meters higher than before, submerging many coastal cities beneath the waves. But these drowned streets and buildings are now thriving coastal habitats. Industrial pollutants, the metals and chemicals of another age, are buried deep in sediments, their threat nearly gone. Dolphin populations climb to historic highs. Their intelligence and social bonds place them among the most dominant species of the seas.